7:30, Kevin?
7:20.
Okay. 7. You please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Notice this meeting was given in advance thereof by publishing one time in the Keith County News and posting at the City Administration Building as shown by the certificate of posting notice. Notice of this meeting was simultaneously given to the president and all members of the council. Availability of the agenda was communicated in the advance notice and the notice to the president and council of this meeting. All proceedings hereafter will be taken while this convened meeting is open to the attendance of the public. This meeting is being convened in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the southeast corner of the council chambers. Any person wishing to address the council may do so by standing. When you are recognized, please go to the podium. Please sign the sign-in sheet located on the podium and state your name and the organization, interest, or person you represent before you begin speaking. Thank you. Roll call.
Lot.
Here.
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 Holstein.
Here.
Crafty.
Here.
Laughlin.
Here.
Okay, under our consent agenda, we have the minutes of the special meeting held August 26, 2025. We have renewal of gas fitters license for John C. Pifo. We have renewal of master plumber license for John C. Pifo. Renewal of right-of-way contractor license for John C. Pifo, and renewal of sewer contractor license for John C. Pifo.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Laughlin and a second by Councilman Holstein. Approve the consent agenda. There's no discussion. Please vote.
Five yes.
Motion carried. Have no public hearing scheduled, public forum. We have anyone here wishing to address the council on their public forum? Okay, seeing none, moving on to report of the city clerk. We have the minutes of the regular meeting held August 26, 2024.
One was special, one was,
Okay,
Chris wasn't here for the regular.
got it. Move to approve
Yep.
the minutes of the regular meeting held August 26, 2025.
I've moved to approve minutes of the regular meeting held August 26, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Dupierre and a second by Councilman Laughlin. Move the minutes. August 26, 2025. If there's no discussion, could the council please vote?
Four yes, one abstain.
Motion carried. Moving on in the report of the clerk treasurer. Financial report for August 2025.
Okay, for the month ended August 31st, 2025, the revenues were $1,124,751.22. Expenses for the month were $816,123.05. Fiscal year to date revenues have been $1,837,548.27. And fiscal year to date expenses are $11,863,659.33. With 8% of the fiscal year remaining, the proprietary funds have 81% of their budget revenue remaining. The governmental funds have 24% and the internal service funds have 18% of their budget revenue remaining. And then on the expense side, the proprietary funds have 82% of their budget expenses remaining. The governmental funds have 34% and the internal service funds are over the budget balance by 23%. Fiscal year to date, the city has received $820,365.16 from franchise fees, $36,660.01 from telephone occupation taxes, and $152,687.44 from hotel occupation taxes. And for the unencumbered balance of the LB 840 account, that sits at a negative $256,963.57. Anybody have any questions?
Good job.
This is a point of interest. I did get a call from the Racing and Gaming and the funds, which I didn't realize how they were gonna be sent to the city. And I should be getting a report in the next couple weeks of what the revenues were for the first month that they were open. And the funds all go to the county and then the county distributes them, half of it to the city then.
Is there a time frame that they have to distribute that back to the city?
I'm not positive on that. I would imagine. If it's like the Keno that they get, we get it right away.
Okay.
We'll see.
Perfect.
Time will tell. Well,
So we'll have some numbers at the next meeting or the next.
possibly.
Okay.
We shouldn't probably have, we may not have revenue yet, but I might have numbers, cause they're gonna, as soon as they send the money to the county, I will get a report of what they've sent. So I can make sure that we get what we got coming to it.
Whenever I'm out south, it looks like there's always cars in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're gonna see, our local Keno drop off because of that.
I don't know. We'll
Be
see.
interesting
Keno's already dropping off before this, so
as it.
it has been,
Flying.
Biggest hit was his games of skill.
yeah.
Thanks. Any other questions for Jane? Thank you, Jane. As always, great report. Moving on, your departments, boards and committees, under administration, we have permit application to keep fowl. Daniel Nelson, 12 chickens at 205 L&L Court.
I have some packets with some my current permit stuff. Can I give it to the council member?
Sure. Go ahead, step to the podium, state your name and your address.
Daniel Nelson, 205 L&L Court, Willow, Nebraska, 69153. And I apologize, there's only 5 of them.
Sure,
That's fine.
That's fine.
We can share. It's no big deal.
And please make sure you sign in there on the signing sheet. Perfect.
So I currently have that permit. I have since moved and live at a new address. So my goal was to. I spoke with Jane the other day. She informed me that there wasn't a way to transfer that address or that permit. So I was hoping to get a new one transferred or a new one permitted. There is copies of letters from the neighbors. The ones in Spanish, there's a translation on the back. My old and my new address are both zones C4, commercial highway business. And my new address has less immediate neighbors than the prior one that I was already approved for. I've had that permit for 9 years, 6 months and 1 day actually. And, I never had any complaints, any issues regarding chickens. Permit is active and in good standing status. So,
But you just moved to this address?
no, I've been there for approximately 3 years, I would guess.
Yeah, when we spoke, I was of the impression that you had just moved, so.
Okay.
So you had chickens outside of the permit on this premises for that period of time?
Just recently, not for 3 years.
Okay.
No, just recently I had gotten some, until I spoke with the police officer when all the chickens were killed by a neighbor's dog. That's when I realized the permit had my address specifically at that old address.
Where was that old address at? Was it in the county or
No,
was it?
it was right down the road, 604 East Second.
Right. And you had 6 chickens at that time?
Well,
That one? And you had a permit for 12 chickens?
yes, the top page on that one.
That was a permit that was a permit issued before we revamped.
Oh, that was a grandfather did.
Right.
Yeah, this was 9.5 years ago.
Yeah, right now the limit is six, but there's also a provision in the ordinance that allows for additional. Upon requested approval. So it says limited to six, but then there's a paragraph that also provides that additional animals, conditional approval for additional animals may be granted by the city council. So I think you've got. You still, this is probably, I don't think it's not a grandfather issue. I don't even like that term, but you know, it's, because that would be more towards the particular site as opposed to the person. But I think you've got the latitude to approve six or more, but that would be, you know, just special consideration.
How big is this parcel?
I've-
It's in the packet.
It's on the application.
Above it?
150 by 50, roughly.
I think it was around 7,000 square foot, so.
Yeah, 7,500 or so, 53 by 145.
So,
Would it help if I just read the ordinance? Would that help you?
well, yeah, and I have it in front of me here too, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, under the fowl permit, it says it shall be unlawful for any person to keep or maintain within the corporate limits. Chickens, and then it says hens only, without first obtaining a permit from the city of Ogallala. 4 chickens may be permitted on a 5,000 square foot lot, plus 1 chicken for each additional 5,000 square feet. There shall be a maximum of 6 chickens per lot. And then like I said, that's paragraph 2 of the ordinance, and subparagraph 6 says additional animals, conditional approval for additional animals may be granted by the city council. So if it says strictly additional animals, I think that gives you the latitude to consider additional animals on a specific parcel as well.
Even though that parcel isn't. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's sufficient size based on that section two.
I think you've got the general rule that you apply with the number and the square footage, but then section 6 says you can approve addition. So I think it's on a case by case basis is the way I would look at it.
If it was within the 4 chickens, it could just, it wouldn't be a council, wouldn't have to be a council action. It would be a permitted use.
Sounds like it's still,
Yeah, it would be permitted use, and then the additional is, you know, that's almost akin, you know, to a conditional use permit or something like that, where you, based on facts and circumstances, you make a decision that additional animals would be okay.
How long have you had chickens there?
It was 6 months.
Okay. But the only question I have is it shows here that you have permission from your landlord to request. Dated March 1st of this year. Well, why are we all of a sudden now getting the request for the permit?
Because that was, she had given me the permission back, that's when I got the chickens. It just started laying now. So that was the letter she gave me for getting the permit.
There was a dog incident that brought.
Oh, he thought
Yes.
it was permit transfer.
Exactly.
Yeah, how long are the permits good?
It,
Are they 3 years?
Typically until revoked.
Are they? I wouldn't mind seeing a provision putting in there that we review these permits every 2 or 3 years.
We send letters periodically to make sure that they're still in effect. But we don't go out, we don't revisit the site unless there's a complaint.
Right.
We've got one site that we revisited to find out if it's in supply.
Allowed happily by provision. Outright for, and then.
Did you ask
any other
special
neighbors
exceptions to those immediately north and south?
immediate north and south, and then straight across to the east is the dumpsters and the stormway, or the
Storm cellar.
thank you, storm cellar. The one to the south, northwest is the one that had the dog. And the police have been in the middle of everything there, so I didn't really ask them for permission. for their opinion. Can I ask you a question? Why would the permit not be associated with, say, like your name for this situation when someone moves?
Because of the neighbors in the neighborhood
That's
and
fair.
area.
That's fair.
And the setback, the size of your lot, the
Yeah,
setbacks
it's-
from where your tube is,
Right.
from your neighbor's houses. Property.
So, based on the size of the lot, it looks like it would only be allowed to have 4 chickens without special exception from the council.
Okay.
And you're requesting approval for 12.
How many do you have right now?
One,
Just one.
yeah, that's the only one that survived.
Yeah, here's my thoughts. I think this is something that the council needs to review in its ordinance on. Keeping livestock, including chicken or fowl, in the corporate limits. I know we do have an area that there has been some issues with noise and in your situation with the dogs too, I mean, there's dogs will see chickens and they're gonna be after them, which is unfortunate, your loss, but, based on our current code, you're applying for a permit for 12, which would require, a special exception by the council or a vote approval by the council. Based on the size of the lot. Counselor, if we wanted to, could we approve a permit for the 4 chickens? Or because this agenda item says 12 chickens, we just have to come back to the council?
We need to for 4.
We would just.
We would need to?
Okay.
Just for any amount greater than 4 would require a special permit. Yeah, one of the things that I think we would look at as a council is when we make an exception, we have to look and say, okay, is this exception, or is this going to apply to a lot of other situations?
Correct.
And that's one of the things that we have to look at, because if we have another citizen that comes in and says, well, I have 7,000 square foot in the middle of town, and I want 12. And we allowed it somewhere else, that becomes an issue. Yes, this is in an area that's not densely populated. But it also becomes an issue because it looks at that favoritism issue.
Yep.
I think this is something that we do need to bring up in our November meeting. Have a discussion on in general. I don't think we hold up, the 4 because that's based on the allowance, but. I don't know to do an exception at this time of it. In the best interest of the council.
Yeah.
In just my opinion, so.
Okay, I got a question for Mike again. I'm reading this and it says, it shall be unlawful for any person to keep or maintain within corporate limits. Chickens, hens only, without first obtaining a permit from the city of Ogallala, okay? Then it says 4 chickens, hens only, may be permitted. On a 5,000 square foot lot, so when I see may. I'm inferring that council still has to give approval, it's not, it shall.
Yeah, it's not an absolute right. You still have to give approval, but it's limited within the space. To go any more within that space, that's a special.
Okay,
Yeah, you don't have to allow any fowl. It just says you've got the ability to do it.
so. If this isn't approved for 12 chickens, he can still keep his 4 chickens. On that without council approval.
Well,
I think I get what you're saying, so it sounds like based on how it's written, it should, all the approval should go.
It's like, it may says, where it says may be approved.
I think it's approved how it's been, how we've been doing it is, no, but I think that's, if you
Yeah,
read
yeah.
on, that's what I'm saying.
Well-
If you that the building inspector has to inspect it, that's gotta meet the setbacks, and at that point, they get the permit.
But the council would still have to approve it.
Cause with the May,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
That would be a change in procedure from what's been.
Yeah, the way this reads is it says, you can't do it unless. And the unless is, they gotta come to the council and the council may. So, yeah, I mean, it's, there's no right. By ordinance,
to have any
to
chicken,
any number.
right? So even 4 chickens, we would have to approve.
Yeah, and I don't, again, I'm looking at the ordinance, I don't know what happened, I don't know what's happened in the past. Whose memory's better, I don't know, but the council may have directed. Or granted authority
Sure.
to the city manager or to the zoning inspector to issue a permit, I don't know that, I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
so it, where it says 4 chickens may be permitted, if it were by right, it would say 4 chickens shall be permitted.
yeah.
Based on
Or
this
permission, yeah,
Based on these conditions.
and that might be something as part of this, review process that
Yeah.
you'd want to firm up.
Yep.
At the time that ordinance was being written. Yeah, and you were here, the intent of the council was that every chicken permit not come before the council.
correct,
We have 15 open
Because we'd have a
chicken
lot.
permits right now.
Yeah. Whether that should have been shall and that, I don't know.
yep, cause the intent was where 4 just would pass through like any,
Right,
horses or whatever.
Well, and that was kind of my point, the council could have by vote directed that, hey. If it's 4 or less, we don't care, issue the permit.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got that authority. Sure. So, yeah, I don't know what, it
I don't think any separate action was ever taken like
would
that.
surprise me if it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
But based on the code, it looks like it should have been.
and we do have a chicken there now, do I have an issue with 4? No. But I do think we need to add that to our list to review in November, just to make sure it's what still fits the community and the growth plan and. We do have enough that are in town to get a feeling of if that's the direction we still wanna go, or if we need to change direction to. But I don't know if I see enough reason to hold up. At least based on what's required of the 4 chickens then.
You would need about 40,000 more square feet on that property. For those 8 additional chickens.
But based on those numbers, it's a big footprint.
It's a big, yeah,
And we have to think future, somebody else moves in, property changes hands, we have to make sure we're. Setting up for future success of the area as well.
yeah. So back to my question then, since the agenda item says 12, requests for 12,
You can approve 4.
okay,
If that's what the council.
got it. That's what I wanted to know.
What do you guys think, Kevin?
It's tough. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I've known Danny for a long time and there's a bit of personal to it, but. Danny, I've gotta say, my biggest thing I always say is finding facts and proving why. And in this scenario. I have to look down the line in the next case that somebody comes in. Yes, we might have the authority to grant more for specific reasons. And with the high density and the very nature of a mobile home park, I really struggle with granting more than what's currently allowed at the 4. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's just really to really maintain what I believe in going forward. That's how I would vote on any other aspect, and I have to stick with that. I don't see how I could vote for more than 4 chickens, just based on the lot size. That's honestly where I'm at with it.
I tend to agree with Councilman Dupierre. I mean. Our code would allow 4 chickens and. On the size of the lot, that'd be fine. Yeah, I mean, in my mind. Hopefully keep them penned up so those dogs don't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Dustin, Kevin.
Whatever the code. I'm okay with 4. I personally, I'm not comfortable with 12, especially with being a mobile home park, because properties are so much closer together than very residential neighborhood.
You know, and that's something we could look at, especially in November. I mean, when we get into that 2-mile ETJ, things like that. Maybe we need to look at refining what in town is versus, you know, high density, like trailer park versus low density areas. I don't know, maybe we need to look at that. Maybe we need to look at have an expiration period on those just for relook. I don't know that. That might be something we want to look at.
You know, for 12 chickens, I mean, you're looking at an acre of ground for the code.
And the only reason I went with 12 originally back 9 years ago was because. The amount of space that you need for a run and everything else, you know, it's very minimal. What they require. Now, you know, there's a different side to that where you got more chicken, you got more noise, you got more feces, you got more everything and more issues.
Well, and we appreciate you coming here, you know, it shows responsibility on the owner. You come in and speaking with the council, a lot of people will try to just say, well, I just didn't know, so we do appreciate that. I guess that'll be my question to you is 4, if we went ahead and made a motion for 4 based on what we have now, is that something you're interested in, or would you rather just not have any?
I'll be honest,
Do you
this is only for my kids. They're the ones that wanted them in the first place. Responsibility, everything. They raised them, they fed them, they cleaned everything. So they would be more than happy. I think they would be happy as a plan to receive approval for 4, you know.
Okay. I just want to make sure it still fit in line. If you were just like, no, if I have 12, I don't want any, then it changes our vote, but.
My only comment would be that, you know, as the chickens develop fully, they can lay approximately. This type that I had is like 260 eggs per year, up to 300. So you're talking 2 to 3 eggs a day. When you've got a family of 3 or 4, you know, it's not much. It doesn't, and the whole chicken. Avian flu and everything else made chickens really popular this year, which I'm sure you guys know plenty about, but. That was my other intent, other than giving the kids responsibility.
Which I very much respect that. I think it's, you have some other citizens in town that have come with pouring.
Nobody does that.
And I would say to add on to Austin's too, as we get closer to November, we're going to be revisiting a lot of this stuff, probably including this one too. Just putting together a proposal saying, you know, I think I should be able to have these in this kind of circumstance would help others that are looking at this type of thing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. I mean, I get that you guys are in a tough spot. It's. You get one guy wanting a horse in the town and then the next, you know, 50 want a horse in town, and there's gotta be a line drawing, so I understand that. If everybody in that trailer park had full of chickens, it'd be an absolute chaos. So I understand that.
We were actually talking about that earlier.
And you know, even for the 4 chickens, it might be a great project. I mean, this is outside council stuff. For the kiddos to put together a thing that said, here's the things that 4 chickens have added for us. This is why we've enjoyed this policy being in place.
Mhm.
That can be then presented in front of the group.
Right, right, and I mean, I would like to say too, the city has, you know, made progress since I've moved here. I've lived here just over 10 years now, so. Just seeing that, you know, people used to complain, oh, we're in Ogallala, come on, we can't even have chickens. But, you know, I see that the council's making effort and trying to hear the citizens on that, so.
Yeah, perfect.
And honestly, man, you've got a reputation, if you guys don't know, reputation for taking care of his animals and then taking care of animals outside of his normal realm, not that they're animals, but. I mean, you do a lot, was it last week, you grabbed a rattlesnake off the playground at the school. He's got a lot of experience when it comes to.
Yep.
Animals like this, and so it's nothing personal.
No, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
When would that be? How would I obtain that or how?
Just go through the permit process, it just, well,
Well, we already have the permit, so you'll get a call. I'll forward it to the planning and zoning and he'll come inspect
he'll inspect your run.
Okay,
yeah, and then as long as it meets all the setbacks, and then he'll bring it back, and then I'll get it and I'll issue the permit.
thank you so
And I'll
much.
just mail it to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danny.
Have a good night.
All right, moving on, police, contract with FR Customs LLC 2025 Durango PTV outfit for 2 vehicles.
Mr. President, this is, it comes before us every time we have Dell and Jordan do a vehicle, outfitted vehicle for us, since they both have affiliations with the city. This covers the conflict of interest and full disclosure. We've got 2 outfits, one is outfitted. One needs a radio. This just allows us to move forward and get this done, hopefully prior to the end of this budgetary year.
I don't think we've had any negative comments about them putting anything together. Seems like we've had all positive.
They seem to do a great job. There's not a lot of people around to do this type of work.
And it's a quick turnaround. They get it done pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know, just to throw in on that, the price to some might seem high, but when you really look at it line item by line item, there's not one single item that stands out as out of the ordinary. I mean, honestly, even the labor rates, $30 an hour.
Public safety stuff is expensive.
It is.
And that's not easy to get in those cars. And if we could figure out a way to keep the steering wheels from getting torn up on a police car, we definitely do it, but.
They gotta hang their guns up in the back seat. That's what happens, their guns hit the steering wheel and chew them up.
Yeah, if you guys, I don't know, Dustin, also, if you've ever been over to the police department, and looked at the cars. It's really interesting to see just from the getting in and out of the car. How much damage is done just to the steering wheel and the side of the seat. It blew me away. I don't have any questions or issues. I'll move to approve the contract with F&R Customs LLC 2023. Dodge Durango.
2025.
No, 2025, okay. 2025 Dodge Durango PPV outfit in the amount of $30,274.32.
And then second,
We have a motion by Councilman Laplin and a second by Councilman Bekier to approve the contract with FR Customs LLC. There's no further discussion. Council, please vote.
Five yes.
Motion carried. See, there's no report, city attorney. Report of city manager, project update.
I'm celebrating, I got a call from our maintenance for the avgas, which has been has been out of commission most of the time since May. They are going to be there on Monday and they've given me assurances that it will be fixed, so. I'm looking forward to being back in the avgas business with them before the end of the month.
Good source of revenue. And I think we're gonna see more.
Yeah, this is-
Casino.
is this a different company or the one we've been struggling with?
It's the one I've been struggling with, and finally I got a call from one of the executives of the company today, and he was apologetic, but he assured me he will be bringing 18 out on Monday.
This for the airport?
Very good.
Anything else?
You know, Kevin, that might be something that we might add on to our November meeting, just discussions of what our 5-year plan is on that airport too, just so we can do some planning, because as we look at some options, we have requests coming in, that might be a good discussion topic.
Yeah, I would recommend that the council, if you have a vision or a thought in the middle of the night, call Kevin.
Immediately.
Not until 7 AM.
Or maybe just text him.
Yeah, thanks.
But let him know, let him start to compile a list. I mean, this is anything's on the table. For discussion. It'll be
Oh,
kind of like a council retreat, but.
Yep.
I hope a little more strategic with.
Yep.
Maybe a few tactical things that they're.
Just keep calling until he answers.
Or joining him on his morning walk to work.
I heard.
He's always done that.
You do a good job. I mean, everybody sees you out in the community. I've had numerous comments, Kevin. On how visible you are in this community, and I do want to say that's very much appreciated.
One other note, I've been trying to monitor with the cuts of the university. One of the cuts is gonna be the College of Architecture, and I wanna make sure that we get our comp plan done before, but yeah, it's impacted. So I think I corresponded with our graduate student this afternoon. And she's hoping to have us some deliverables by the end of October.
Right, if there's no further business from council, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Dupierre, and a second by Councilman Holstein. Perfect. No further discussion, please vote.
I think that second was by Jeff. He was ready.
5 yes?
Thank you for the chicken.
We're adjourned.
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Thank you,
We
gentlemen.
appreciate it.
So just out of curiosity, how much stuff are we actually putting on the meeting for November?
I think we're just gonna take